What is up? It is episode number 7 of the Omaha Dreams podcast, hosted by
Brendan Young, career 300 high school hitter, 0-star baseball recruit, your in-house college baseball expert, and Connor Heilman, the all-time leader in Little League walks, eyes like a hawk, but he's not built like one. Did I say Connor Heilman?
Yeah. All right. Let's get into it. We're going to start with our intro as always. We're going to recap the midweek, what went down midweek this week for week 5. We got weekend preview for week 5. And then we have a few more conference previews. We got this episode and next episode, and then we're done with these.
Finally.
I think we're both kind of getting sick with it, but we're doing our best. We're pushing through. So midweek recap. We're going to start on Tuesday. I have a couple upsets I want to talk about before we move into the games we previewed. Yeah. Well, I'm not starting with the big one first. I'm going to start with Delaware beats number 24 Maryland 6-3. Delaware holds the Terps here to only 3 hits. I think that was the story of the day there.
Kind of hard to win a game with only 3 hits.
Yes, absolutely. VCU beat number 14 Liberty 2-1. Big win for the Rams there. The College of Charleston beats number 2 Texas 8-4.
Roll Cougs, baby.
Then we got Georgia State beating number 18 Clemson 6-1. And then we're going to finish off with Southeastern Louisiana beating number 1 Ole Miss 5-1. Insane.
Yeah.
Which one's the biggest?
I think Texas losing is the biggest.
I agree.
They already had a down week last week, and then they lose another one in the middle of this week.
Yeah, it's not going great for the Longhorns right now.
They have an easy matchup this weekend, but
who are they playing this weekend? Do you know?
It's like something crazy sounding.
Okay.
Incarnate Word.
Incarnate World.
Word. Incarnate Word.
Are they like the Red Cardinals or something like that? I think. Looks something like that.
They're in San Antonio.
Okay. Well, while you look at that, I'm going to move to 8 Florida State at number 9 Florida. This game ended up being postponed. It will be made up on May 17th, so something to look forward to.
They play a couple times in between then, but
yeah. But this matchup alone will be moved to May 17th.
Mm-hmm.
So the next game we will actually talk about is Tulane at number 13 LSU. I had the Tigers here. Who'd you take?
Yeah, I took LSU as well. They end up winning 7-5. Tulane jumps out to an early 2-0 lead. LSU doesn't care. They score 2 in the top of the third, 3 in the fourth, and then they keep the pressure on, scoring like 1 run in the 6th and the 8th.
Okay.
So I think this one looks a little closer than it was.
Yeah.
But LSU got the job done.
Tulane's been struggling recently.
Yeah,
what do you think about them? Do you think they're going to turn it around here soon, or?
I don't know.
You don't know?
It depends. I don't know what their upcoming schedule looks like, but I don't think they're one of the better. I don't think they're the best team in their conference. I think Southern Miss is, and they also have Louisiana Tech in that conference as well.
Yeah. Tulane will be playing Villanova this weekend, so that could be a good series.
Yeah, they could hopefully win 2.
Yeah, I'm hoping they take 2 here. They did win on Wednesday against Nicholas, so they broke that losing streak of 5. So they won a close one 5-3 against Nicholas.
Yeah.
So.
LSU, Trey Morgan, he had a great day that night. He goes 2 for 4 with 3 ribbies, so he scored almost half their runs.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so next we have Uconn at USC. I took the Trojans here. The Huskies take this one 7-1. I want to shout out Ian Cook. He was the starting pitcher. He went 7.2 innings pitched, allowing 0 earned on 4 hits, 1 walk, while striking out 7 to get the K, or to get the win for the Huskies.
Yeah, Uconn hitters Ben Huber and Brian Padilla hit homers in this one, which kind of carries them. But the game definitely was dominated by UConn's pitcher, Ian Cook.
Yeah, absolutely. So Wednesday, we're going to start with Uconn again. They were at Long Beach State here.
Yeah, they had a little West Coast road trip.
Yep, I took Uconn here. This score was 7-1 as well, but not in the Huskies' favor. Long Beach State takes this one. Long Beach State pitchers would only allow 2 hits and 2 walks. They were led by their starting pitcher, Zach Volker, who would go 6 innings pitched, allowing 0 earned and only giving up 1 base runner with a walk. He would also strike out 7 to get the win.
Yeah, Uconn's only run comes in the 9th inning on a sacrifice fly. So this game was pretty dominant by Long Beach State.
The Dirtbags did them dirty here.
Yeah, they're keeping it rolling. They're 6-2 in their last 8. They beat Pepperdine last week, who's a decent team, and they beat Gonzaga last weekend, who was ranked.
Yeah.
And then they just beat a hot Uconn team. So
yeah, absolutely. Next, we have Dallas Baptist at 11 Oklahoma State. I took the upset. I think you did as well.
Yeah, I took Dallas Baptist as well, which they almost did it again. Like they've been close against some of these Power 5 teams, but
yeah,
they just can't get it done.
Yeah, they lose this one 5-4. Dallas Baptist would be up 4-3 going into the bottom of the 7th. Jake Thompson would hit a 3-2 double to right center field to score the tying and go ahead runs. This day was dominated by Jake Thompson. He was insane. He went 3 for 4 with 4 RBIs, and he had a run.
He had a triple, a double, a single. He was a homer shy of the cycle.
Yeah, he's responsible for all 5 of these runs. Without him, they probably do not win this game.
Trevor Martin for Oklahoma State also collects his 5th save of the year, and strikes out 2 in the last inning. So he's been pretty good for the Cowboys as well.
Yeah.
Last game we got is Miami at UCF. UCF strikes down the Hurricanes 10-5. UCF scores 9 runs over the 5th, 6th, and 7th innings. 5 of them come off of 2 homers by Tom Jostin and Michael Brooks.
Yeah.
So this was pretty dominant by UCF.
Yeah, I think UCF dominated this game. The Hurricane were able to salvage 4 runs in the top of the 9th to make it appear a little bit closer, but it was not close at all. I think errors played a little bit of a part in this Hurricane loss as well, but
I think they had like 3?
Yeah.
Yeah, Miami also, they left 8 on base. UCF left 3 on base, so they took better advantage of their opportunities.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we have one more upset. Grand Canyon beat number 5 Oregon State 13-7. And I want to give a shout out to Taylor Aguilar, who went 3 for 5 with 1 home run and 4 RBIs. He had a pretty decent day and a dominant victory against the Beavers. So
go Lopes.
Yeah, go Lopes, babies. All right. Let's get into the weekend preview for week 5. We're going to start.
This is a good one.
This is a good one. We're going to start with Wake Forest at 10, Georgia Tech. This is a 3-game set, Friday to Sunday. Wake Forest is 14-3. Georgia Tech is 14-3 as well. Georgia Tech is currently undefeated at home. They're a perfect 12-0, and they have won 4 straight. Who do you think has the advantage in hitting and pitching? Or do you have one, is it split? What do you think?
This is going to be a slugfest. These teams are going to crush the ball all weekend. I think it's going to come down to who has the better hitting lineup in each game.
Mm-hmm.
I think currently Georgia Tech's offense is better. I think Wake Forest stats might look a little better, but they also haven't played anybody.
Yeah, so I'll read these stats real quick. Wake Forest team combined average is 325. They have 32 home runs and 161 RBIs.
They're slugging 564 and on base 444.
Yep, Georgia Tech is hitting 326, 32 home runs as well, 153 RBI, 547 slug, and a 436 on base percentage.
So it's pretty split.
Yeah, I think both these teams match up as well as any teams can for hitting here. I think Wake Forest is the better pitching team. I give them the slight edge in pitching.
Yeah. I feel like that also could have to do with who they played as well.
Yeah.
They haven't really their strongest opponent is Florida State, who is obviously very good.
Yeah.
They're a great pitching team. They slowed down their offense pretty well last weekend. Georgia Tech, they've played some good teams. They played Virginia Tech, who they swept last week.
Yep.
They played Georgia. They played Wright State. They lost to Mercer at one point in the season.
Mm-hmm. I think Wake Forest is the better pitching team. Wake Forest has a 2.76 combined ERA. Georgia Tech is sitting at 4.87
Yeah, it's
right now. So
pretty big difference.
it's a pretty comparable difference. I think before we make our picks here, I want to talk about some players.
Sure.
For Wake Forest, my hitter to watch is Adam Searcy, I think is how you pronounce his name, I'm hoping. Through 17 games, he has a 339 average with 4 home runs and 22 RBIs.
I'm going with Nick Kurtz,
Okay.
freshman first baseman. This is the dude that I was telling you about that's from Lancaster that I couldn't find.
Oh, okay.
So he's hit 5 home runs on the year, which leads their team. He's hitting 290, which is pretty good for a freshman.
Mhm.
His bio says he's from Lancaster, which is where we're from.
Yeah.
And I was looking him up. I saw stats from like 2017 for him playing for Manheim Township.
Okay.
But then after that, I can't find anything else. And his perfect game like profile says he played at Baylor High School, which I've never heard of. I think maybe it's a private school. I have no clue.
Yeah.
But shout out him from Lancaster.
Nice. My pitcher to watch for Wake Forest is Rhett Lauder. Through 4 starts, is a perfect 4-0.
Yeah, we talked about him before.
Yeah, he's gone 23.1 innings pitched, posting a 1.93 ERA with 29 Ks. I think he might have a big day. For Georgia Tech, my hitter to watch, I can't not mention this guy. It's Kevin Garado, the catcher. Through 17 games, he has a 437 average with 8 home runs and 30 RBIs.
The dude's been crushing.
Yeah.
I got Trace Gonzalez
Yeah, I saw him.
solely because of his name, because I like it.
Yeah, that's a good name.
But I mean, he is hitting 339 right now. He's got 3 stolen bases. He's definitely a good player, but
Nice.
I just didn't want to go with Parada, the obvious choice.
Yeah, well, I took the obvious choice because when you're putting up that kind of line, you got to talk about it.
Yeah, I figured you were going to talk about it. So.
Yeah. So my pitcher to watch here is Cody Carwile. He appears to be a middle reliever. Through 6 appearances, he has a 0.82 ERA over 11 innings pitched with 9 Ks. I think he's going to come into one of these games and he'll help bolster this team, get them a win one of these days.
So you got Wake Forest 1-1.
Yeah, so I'm going to take Georgia Tech 2-1. I think for Wake Forest to swing this, they're going to have to shut down Kevin Parada.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you can slow him enough through 2 games, they can take this series. I just don't think it's going to happen. The dude's been rolling. He's been crushing it.
I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think they're going to win 2 games because they're off. Not even just Kevin Parada. Their team is ridiculous right now.
Yeah, like I said, I think Wake Forest is definitely the better hitting team, the better pitching team here. But I can't take Wake Forest again. I took them last week against Virginia Tech. They let me down.
No, you took them against Florida State.
Yes, against Florida State. I think Georgia Tech just is the better team here. I think they're gonna take 2 of 3.
I think Georgia Tech's gonna sweep them.
What?
Yeah,
that's a bold prediction.
It is, but I feel like I haven't predicted a sweep so far this year, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with this one.
I like that. I think this game is going to be, or this series is going to be interesting. I think there's going to be a lot of offense and it's going to be fun to watch. Yeah. So with that being said, let's move to Miami at 18 Clemson. This is a 3-game set as well, Friday to Sunday. Miami is 11-5. Clemson is 14-2. I think Clemson has a slight edge in hitting, but I think they're the better pitching
You
team.
think they have a slight edge in hitting?
Yeah, I think so. As of right now. I don't think they've played as many hard teams.
Yeah, they swept South Carolina.
Yeah, and I think that was big. So
Yeah.
Both those teams was South Carolina undefeated going into that, or was Clemson?
They both were.
Were they? I thought one of them maybe had 1 loss, but either way, they both are 2 very good teams.
Yeah, South Carolina just beat Texas.
Yeah. I don't know.
I think Miami
like
has
Clemson here.
I think Miami has the edge in offense.
Mhm.
I think Clemson has the edge in defense and pitching. Are you taking Clemson? Do you want to go into hitters first?
Yeah,
or
let's go.
players
Let's go to
first?
our players to watch real quick. Miami, I have CJ Kaifas. Through 16 games, he's hit 339 with 2 home runs and 19 RBIs.
I got Carson Ligon, freshman right-handed pitcher for Miami.
Okay.
He's thrown 21 innings, so he's thrown a lot.
Yeah.
1.71 ERA and a .71 WHIP. So, I mean, .71 WHIP is pretty elite.
Yeah.
I think if he can continue that in his start this weekend, Miami will have what it takes to win one game.
Yeah, absolutely. I have Jake Garland noted. I think we've talked about him before. Through 4 starts, is 2-1. He has a 1.96 ERA over 18.1 innings pitched with 14 Ks. His stats don't blow you away, but I think he's a solid pitcher, and I think he may be pivotal in one of these games.
Mm-hmm.
For Clemson, I have Cooper Engel through 16 games. He's hit .424 with 2 home runs and 19 RBIs.
Yeah, I have him as well. He's got 16 walks too, which is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
He's been carrying the Tiger offense, I think, so far this year.
Yeah. And then for my pitcher is Ryan Ammons. Through 8 appearances, has 4 saves. He's gone 8.2 innings pitch, has a 1.04 ERA with 12 Ks. So I think he's going to come in and save 2 of these games for the Tigers, and they're going to take the series 2-1.
Yeah, I think Clemson's going to win too.
Yeah,
I think they're hotter than Miami.
Yeah,
I think Miami has an edge on offense, but I don't think it's very much of a gap.
Yeah,
I think Clemson has what it takes to take down Miami.
Yeah, absolutely.
In an ACC matchup.
Yeah, there's a couple good ACC matchups.
Mm-hmm.
So 23 Mississippi State at 20 Georgia is next. 3-game set Friday to Sunday. Mississippi State is 11-7. They've won 4 straight. Georgia is 14-3, have won 5 straight. Both these teams are hot coming in. What do you think?
So Mississippi State, they don't really have any wins that have impressed me so far this year. They have more losses. They've lost to Long Beach State. They lost a series of them. They lost to Southern Miss in a midweek contest. They lost to Tulane. They lost to Texas Tech once. I think they're a better defensive team, and I think they're a better pitching team, but they just lost 2 of their best pitchers.
Yeah, I agree.
I think Georgia, they also don't really have any impressive wins. They beat Wofford, who we'll talk about later in the conference preview.
Yeah.
They lost to Georgia Tech. They haven't really played anybody that impressive.
Yeah, I think Georgia is better in hitting and pitching wise.
Mm-hmm.
Let's move to players to watch real quick, if you're ready for that.
Yeah.
All right. So players to watch, Mississippi State, we'll start with them. I have Hunter Hines through 18 games, has a .328 average with 5 home runs and 20 RBIs.
I got RJ Yeager, a graduate transfer from Mercer.
Yeager.
Yeah, it's not spelled like the Yeager we all love, but it's close enough.
Okay.
So he's only started 12 of their 18 games, but he's currently hitting .238, which isn't really anything noteworthy. But I think if he's able to kick it into gear, especially because he's a transfer onto the team, if he picks it up even just a little, he might be able to help him out to a series victory.
Yeah.
And I'm also going to mention for pitchers, I mean, I'm going to say Landon Sims. He's their best pitcher on their team. He's posted a 1.15 ERA.
Didn't he just go down?
Yeah, he's the best pitcher. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
He's going to be – it's a huge loss for them.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think the pitcher that needs to step up is going to be Cade Smith.
Mm-hmm.
So he's 4 starts. He's 3 now. He's gone 22 innings pitched, has a 2.05 ERA with 23 Ks. I think he might move into the Friday role with Sims being down. So I think that's a guy we got to keep an eye on for this series.
Yeah, for sure. Especially if he continues to throw like he has been.
Absolutely.
Posting 203.
For Georgia, I have Corey Collins through 15 games, has a .352 average with 6 home runs and 15 RBIs.
Phil Collins, you said?
Yeah, Phil Collins. Corey Collins. A little different. Do you have anyone here?
Yeah, I got 2 guys. I have Ben Anderson, a graduate outfielder for the Bulldogs of Georgia.
He's been hitting very well, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's leading them in OPS and base on balls right now. He's at 373. So his OPS is a 1.195. And then I have Luke Wagner, a sophomore reliever from Redland, which is cool.
Yeah.
Shout out local teams.
Yep.
5 appearances, 12.1 innings, posted a .73 ERA, so he's been very good.
Nice. I have Jonathan Cannon. He's a starter. I think we've talked about him
Yeah, he's
as
their
well.
ace.
Through 4 starts, he's 3-1. He's gone 26.1 innings pitched. He has a 2.39 ERA with 28 Ks.
Most of those runs coming against Georgia Tech, I think.
Yeah. I'm taking the Bulldogs 2-1. The Georgia Bulldogs, that is.
Yeah, both of these teams are the Bulldogs, so
Yeah.
it's a matchup of a great mascot.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Georgia as well.
Yeah, you taking 2-1. Sweet. What are you taking here?
Yeah, let's go 2-1.
All right, I like it. Next game we have is 6 Notre Dame at Louisville. This is a 3-game set, Friday to Sunday as well. Notre Dame is 12-1. They've won 10 straight. They're on fire coming into this. Louisville is 13-4.
Yeah. Notre Dame came off a 2-game sweep of NC State last week.
Yep.
Their only loss of the year is to Delaware almost a month ago. This team is elite on the mound and on the field. They've only committed 4 errors this year.
Yeah, their pitching is insane. I think they have a 1.86 ERA right now.
I got 1.66.
Or 1.66. I'm sorry, I can't really read. That's really small. But
Opponent batting average of 0.8.
0.181.
0.181.
I got you. I'll come in with the save. They have 153 Ks.
Yeah.
This team is dominant.
Who's your player for them?
For them, I have 2 guys. I have Brooks Cotes. Through 13 games, has hit 380 with 5 home runs and 14 RBIs. I don't know. I think Louisville's the better hitting team. But John Bertrand is a freaking stud, dude.
Mm-hmm.
4 starts, 4-0, 25 innings pitched with a 1.80 ERA with 28 Ks. Dude's nasty.
Yeah, I have their entire pitching staff has been nasty.
Yeah.
I got Austin Temple. I think I don't know what his slot is. He might be like a midweek guy.
Yeah, I think so. I think I don't know. I think he's moved to the weekend.
Gotcha.
He does have that 1 save, but he has 4 appearances. So
yeah, he's got starts. So.
Yeah, he has 3 starts. So I think they might have moved him to a weekend.
Either way,
starter.
he's thrown 21 innings, got a 1.71 ERA, and a 0.136 opponent batting average.
Yeah.
Louisville, though, I think is also a very good team. I think we definitely slept on them when we were doing our ACC preview.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
They're 7-1 in their last 8 games. They've beaten TCU, who's ranked. They took 2 out of 3 against Michigan, who's a top team in the Big Ten.
Yep.
Their offense is ridiculous.
Yeah.
They're hitting 334 as a team right now. Slugging 589. They got a ton of walks. They've walked 87 times. With how good their hitters have been, I want to mention a pitcher who's been lights out for them, which is kind of hard to find.
Yeah.
Tate Kuhner, Jr.
I had him as well, yeah.
Junior left-hander, 1.71 ERA, 21 innings pitched, 19 Ks, and a .182 opponent batting average. If he keeps his walks down, he'll be able to have a dominant start this weekend.
Yeah. I want to mention Cameron Masterson. 17 games, he has a 354 average with 5 home runs and 21 RBIs. But I think the best player on this team is Ben Mensinger, who I talked about last week. So that's why I didn't mention him. I was seeing if you were going to mention him. Dude is hitting 313 through 17 games. He has 8 home runs and 25 RBIs. He's coming off the ACC Player of the Week, I believe. Or no.
Yeah.
Yeah, was that him?
Yeah, last week.
Yeah, he has, how many stolen bases does he have?
Like
4?
Sure.
Yeah, he has 4 stolen bases. So I think Levi Usher was the Player of the Week last week because he had 6 stolen bases. That's how I remember that. He has 9 on the season right now. I think this team is interesting. I think this series is going to be interesting. Who are you taking?
This is the matchup where I hadn't made a pick yet. Okay. Because I think last weekend Notre Dame, like they were playing NC State, who's ice cold. Yeah. The NC State strength is their hitters, and their hitters were cold going into the game, and they stayed cold. Yeah. I think the Louisville bats are hot right now. Mm-hmm. My heart wants to pick Louisville, but my mind says to go with Notre Dame. I think I'm going to go with my heart. I think I'm going to go with Louisville.
Are you?
Yeah.
I feel the same exact way, dude. I really want to take Louisville here, but I think Notre Dame's pitching staff is just elite right now. And I think their pitching is so good that I think they'll take this series 2-1. I do think Louisville will take one game, and if they have another big offensive day, one day they can bang up the pitchers. I think they can take the series, but I'm gonna go with Notre Dame.
This is my favorite matchup of the
I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. Last game we're gonna talk about is 21 TCU at Baylor. It's a 3-game set as well, Friday to Sunday. TCU is 12-4. They've won 4 straight. Baylor is 9-7. What do you think?
Well, both of these teams are 5-3 in their last 8 games. I think Baylor has a more impressive resume on who they've beaten, but they've also lost to some teams that they should have beaten. They got swept by Maryland. They lost to Sam Houston on Tuesday. They lost to Tennessee, which, I mean, right now everybody is. Tennessee's a very good team, but they've beaten LSU, they've beaten UCLA, they've beaten Duke. TCU, their resume doesn't impress me at all. They swept Army, which is kind of impressive. They swept Nebraska, who is looking like they were a little overrated in the preseason. They lost to Cal, they lost to Kentucky, they lost to Louisville. I think as of right now, the TCU offense and defense has the edge.
I agree.
Baylor pitching has looked a lot better than TCU. Who are your players?
Who are my players?
I think you would agree with me though on the.
I agree with both those statements you just made. Yeah, I think TCU is slightly better hitting, and then I think Baylor has a better pitching staff, and I think that speaks volumes for who they've played. So my players to watch for TCU, I have David Bishop. Through 15 games, he's hit .351 with 2 home runs and 21 RBIs. I think the dude's mashing the ball around the field a little bit. I think he's going to be a player to watch. And then I have River Riddings. That's my pitcher I have. Through 6 appearances. This
is for TCU, right?
Yeah, this is TCU still. He has 4 saves through 6 appearances, 1.23 ERA over 7.1 innings pitched with 9 Ks. I think he may be pivotal in this series, but who do you have for TCU players to watch? I got
Ryan Cornelio.
I like that name.
Yeah. I tried to go with some cool names this episode.
Yeah.
Sophomore right-handed pitcher. He's got a 4.79 ERA right now.
Okay.
But his whip is a 1.06, which is like kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I think he also leads the team with strikeouts. I think if he can keep himself out of trouble in his start, I think he'll be able to have
a great day.
Yeah, have a great day.
Yeah.
For Baylor, I have Jared Mckenzie, sophomore outfielder. I'm also going with these weird picks. He's hitting 207 right now.
Okay.
He also hasn't made an error in defense in center field, and he leads the team in putouts. So he's pretty elite defensively.
Yeah.
If he can turn it around at the plate, even just like a little.
Yeah.
Like he hit 383 last year. So
okay.
He's got the pedigree to do it.
Yeah.
It's just him trying to figure it out, I guess. But I think he'll be able to do it.
Okay. For Baylor, I have Trey Richardson, 16 games. He's hit 262, 2 home runs, 10 RBIs. I think my thing with Baylor here is they're hitting just like there's not one guy that like jumps off the page at you right now.
They don't really have anybody that jumps off the page.
They don't have a dude yet, but I mean Tyler Thomas, their pitcher, 4 starts, 3-1, 28.2 innings pitched, 0.94 ERA with 31 Ks. So I think the pitching is just better for Baylor, but I don't know.
They've struck out 125 and only walked 68.
Yeah.
Their pitching is very good.
Yeah, I think I don't know, dude. This one was tough too. I want to take Baylor, but I think I'm gonna go with TCU 2-1 here.
I'm going with Baylor.
Okay.
Yeah, I think just the resume. I feel like I'm only making this pick off of resume alone.
Yeah, I get that.
And Yeah, I think that's why they're going to get it done.
Yeah, I think
They've beaten better teams than TCU.
I know, and I understand what you're saying. I think the thing that scares me is just that they don't have like a dude, and
Yeah.
like their offense isn't.
It's not good.
They're hitting
right
247. They don't even have 10 home runs yet through 16 games, which is not great. Not one guy has more than 15 RBIs. Kyle Melvin leads them with 14. I think that's the part that just worries me. I don't think they're going to be able to take it.
They walk a lot though and don't strike out a lot.
Yeah.
Which could be the key to the series.
Yeah. I agree. But you're going to take Baylor and I'm going to take TCU, it sounds like.
Yeah.
All right.
You want to go? Let's go through our picks again.
Okay.
That way I remember.
All right. So Wake Forest at 10, Georgia Tech. I'm taking Georgia Tech 2-1.
I took Georgia Tech as well.
Miami at 18, Clemson. I'm taking Clemson 2 out of 3.
I took Clemson as well. 2-1. Also, my Georgia Tech was a sweep.
Yep, that's right. 23, Mississippi State at 20, Georgia. I'm taking the Bulldogs, the Georgia Bulldogs.
I'm taking them as well.
Yep.
Shout out Mike.
2-1. Yep. Our buddy Mike loves the Georgia Bulldogs. 6, Notre Dame at Louisville. I'm taking Notre Dame 2-1.
I took Louisville 2-1.
Yep. And then 21, TCU at Baylor. I'm taking TCU 2 games out of 3.
Did you say Baylor?
No, I said TCU.
Oh, well, I'm taking Baylor.
Yeah.
2 out of 3.
Yep. So what are your honorable mentions? What games do you want to keep an eye on other than these?
I got 4. I know you said to only do 3. I think there's a ton of good conference play, especially in the SEC. In particular, Kentucky at number 3, Kansas. Kentucky's been hot. They got a lot of great hitters. I think they have the ability to upset the Razorbacks.
Okay.
South Carolina at number 7, Tennessee. I think that's a great matchup. South Carolina's coming off a win, a series win against Texas last week. Tennessee is one of the best teams in the country right now. And then outside of the SEC, I have West Virginia at Campbell. Always got to shout out the Camels because they're our biggest fan base right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Utah at Oregon. I think Oregon's a really good team. Utah's off to a great start this year. Plus, our good friend Scotty went to Utah.
Yeah.
Figured I'd shout out to one of those West Coast teams.
Yeah, I think that'd be a good West Coast matchup to keep an eye on. So my honorable mentions are number 1, Ole Miss at Auburn. Auburn is 13-4. I think they're going to steal one.
What's that game right now?
That's what I was about to check. Let me see. It is currently 6-4 in the top of the 4th. Ole Miss has the lead. So we'll keep an eye on that.
Pretty good game so far. It
Yeah,
sounds like.
we'll give a recap, or we'll give a look at that at the end of our episode.
Sure.
Next game I have is NC State at 8, Florida State.
We thought about talking or previewing them.
Yeah.
I was just so tired of talking about NC State.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think I want to keep an eye on this one because I feel like the Wolfpack are due for. Then I think they're going to turn it around at some point. I don't know if it's going to be this weekend, but I think they're going to fight Florida State here pretty well. And then the last game I have is Louisiana Tech at UTSA, some Conference USA baseball for y'all. I think it's going to be a great matchup. I think it'll be a lot of fun. So let's move to our conference previews. Two more episodes of this one and next one. I think you and I are both kind of over this.
Yeah, I'm sick of it.
Yeah, our last one was so fun, and now it's still fun to learn about these teams, but it's just not the same. So we're gonna start with the Southern today. We got
SoCon.
Yeah, Sanford won this last year. Who do you have taking the Southern this year?
I have Wofford Terriers taking it this year.
Okay.
D1 Baseball in one of their previews, they said it perfectly. This is their exact quote. They said 8 position starters returning and 9 pitchers that logged double-digit appearances. This is the team to beat in the SoCon this spring. Last year, they had the best record in the conference. They got upset in the conference tournament by Western Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
They have a 4-year starter behind the dish in Lawson Hill, who hit 309 last year, 421 slug, 421 on base and a 409 slug. They got Trey Younger, a sophomore infielder, hit 321 last year with a 400. 400 on base and an 812 slug, which is very impressive as a freshman.
Yeah.
And they have two phenomenal relievers at the end of their bullpen in Dalton Radins, who went 6-0 last year, 2.59 ERA, 7 saves, and junior Clay Schwanner, who went 5-1 with a 1.23 ERA and 3 saves.
Okay. Well, I am not taking them. I'm going to take Mercer.
Mm-hmm.
I think this group brings a lot of leadership. I think they're going to have a chip on their shoulder. I like them to take this conference. They have upset wins already against Florida State and Georgia Tech. Florida State, they beat them 6-5. Georgia Tech 5-4. They've proven they can beat these teams in close games.
Yeah, Power 5 teams.
Yeah, so I think they're going to do it. I think they're going to win it. My players to watch are Colby Thomas. He's a sophomore outfielder. He's the #1 prospect in the Southland for the 2022 MLB draft. Last year, through 53 games, hit 247. He had a 356 on-base percentage with 10 home runs and 37 RBIs. I think this dude's going to be a wagon. Next guy I'm going to talk about is Luke Supko. He's a senior closer. He made 31 appearances last year, had 12 saves. He had a 4.31 ERA over 48 innings pitched with 58 Ks. I expect him to get that down this year and be absolutely dominant. With that being said, let's move to the Southland. McNeese won this last year.
I got another team
Do you?
that I like.
Okay, let me hear it.
Western Carolina, I think they're good.
Okay.
They upset Wofford last year in the conference tournament.
Okay.
They have one of the best players in the conference and sophomore shortstop Pascal Ferreras.
I like that.
Yeah, he hit 329 last year, 419 on base, 624 slug, hit 16 homers. They got a bunch of good pitchers as well. I think they're going to be good.
Yeah, absolutely. Good to move to the Southland then?
Yep.
All right. McNeese won this last year. I have New Orleans taking this year. I think they have a strong group of core hitters, and they return 2 weekend starters as well. My players to watch for them are Pierce Howard. He's an outfielder. He's a senior. Through 57 games last year, he hit 333 with 7 home runs and 56 RBIs. And then I want to talk about Cole Popham. He's a sophomore pitcher. Last year, he pitched at Lakeland College, 45 Ks through 13 appearances. I couldn't find a ton on this guy, but I think he's an interesting dude to watch. I think he might have a stellar year, so I think he could be a key in New Orleans taking this conference home.
I'm going with Corpus Christi.
Christi?
Yeah, Texas A&M Corpus Christi just for the meme.
Uh,
Despite even me picking them just for the meme, I think they're a really good team.
I think so as well.
They have one of the best pitchers in the conference at Hayden Thomas, who struck out 94 last year. The pitching staff is going to be important for them because they have a lot of young players on the offensive side. So, yeah, I'm going with Corpus Christi.
Nice. I like it. Good to move to the Summit.
Yep.
All right. North Dakota State took this last year. Who you got taking it this year?
Oral.
I have Oral taking it too. Oral Roberts, that is.
Yeah, their team is loaded with pitchers.
Yeah.
I didn't write down any of their stats, but Trey Wolf, Tyler Wagner, and Evan Kowalski, they were dominant last year.
You didn't even mention the pitcher I had. I had Isaac Coffey. He's a junior pitcher. He's the 2021 Summit Pitcher of the Year. Last year went 9-2. He's a stud. Over 14 appearances, he pitched 86.1 innings, posted a 2.81 ERA with 92 Ks. I think this dude's absolutely dominant. And you mentioned those other guys who are also absolutely dominant.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's move to the Southwestern, or the SWAC, as some might call it. 2021 winner is Southern.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not having them repeat. I'm going with the HBCU Jackson State.
I'm taking them as well.
Shout out Deion Sanders.
Yes, absolutely. Coach Prime, baby. Jackson State went 24-0 in conference play last year, and they got upset by Southern. I think this team is going to be dominant yet again, and I think they're not going to have another mishap like they did last year.
They finished last year top 5 in average on base plus slug, and they stole 133 bases.
That's absolutely gross.
Yeah. Specifically, I want to highlight Ty Hill,
which
you probably mentioned or want to mention.
Yeah.
He won Conference Player of the Year last year. You can go into some of his stats. 37
games, he hit 432 with 3 home runs and 43 RBIs. Dude was gross.
Yeah, that's about all you have to say.
Yeah.
He had a 500 on base, and a 632 slug
That's gross.
as a second baseman. Not a lot of second basemen do that.
Insane. I do have a pitcher here, Nick Galatis. He's a senior. Last year through 15 games, went 9-2, pitched 86.2 innings pitched. He put up a 3.12 ERA with 89 Ks. I think he's going to be very important for Jackson State to take this conference this year.
Alrighty.
Do you have anything else?
We want to go to final thoughts?
Yeah.
All right. Did you let me hear the games that you have as your honorable mentions?
Ole Miss, Auburn, NC State, Florida State, Louisiana Tech, UTSA.
Out of those first two, do you have any upset picks for those two?
I think Auburn's going to take one, and then I don't know, dude. I don't know if NC State's going to take two. I definitely don't think Auburn's going to take two. So I guess if I'm going to take an upset, I guess I'll take NC State.
Yeah, I won't hold it against you or anything if you
All
get
right,
it wrong.
cool. How about you?
I don't want it to happen, but I think South Carolina could beat Tennessee.
Yeah.
I think South Carolina is a good team, but I love Tennessee
Yeah.
as they're one of my top 3 teams.
Any other final thoughts for you, buddy? That's
No.
it. All right. Well, as always, make sure to follow us on Spotify. Give us that 5-star rating. Subscribe on YouTube. Give us the thumbs up.
Hit the bell for notifications.
And then follow us on Instagram and Twitter not at the Omaha Dreams, at Omaha Dreams Pod. Have a great weekend.
See you later.